Okay. Uh, Doing arms today? Yeah. Today, two things are new. The first new thing, new flavor of Gatorade powder for the intro. So, son of a bitch. Okay. I was getting a phone call. So, I wish I could just make my phone not like receive phone calls. Not a big phone call person. But, as I was saying, two new things. New flavor of Gatorade powder in here. It's not like a new released one, it's just not what I've been using. I have the lemon lime in here. Last tub I went through was I think it's Glacier Freeze, whatever the blue one is. Um, if you guys aren't familiar with the powdered versions, they don't have, or at least they might have them like online, but as in terms of like easy access, like places like Walmart, they don't have as broad of a flavor spectrum. So your options are like, you got the red fruit punch, you got orange, uh, the blue, the light blue. I'm pretty sure it's Glacier Freeze, and then the yellow lemon lime. It smells good. Ooh, that's nice. So I'll kind of go through all of them. The only one that I won't really use is the fruit punch because I'm having like 130 grams of carbs in this now. Um, and so it's like super concentrated as far as. Is that a V6? That's disappointing. Uh, so yeah, so it's super concentrated as far as the powder goes. Um, which flavor wise is fine, but I find that it makes my mouth and my lips like extremely red, and it like stains them color wise more so than like the yellow or the blue or even the orange. So, wasn't sure how this was going to go. I really like the lemon lime, but it's got like that tartness to it. I wasn't sure how that would be, both one with the like super concentrated amount of the powder, so denser flavor, but also um, the EAAs that I put in my drink is pretty pretty flavored, so goes well together though. And in terms of the lift, that's the other new thing. It's cold in here. Turn off the AC. Uh, I want to try doing triceps first. I've been wanting to kind of play around with that the past few arm days. The past few arm days I've been in a hurry because they've landed on like days that I have school, and I've been having to go prior to class. So on those days, I figured it would be best to just stick to my like what I'm used to routine wise, because that's going to be just obviously a lot smoother. I'm not. It's going to be less like, do I like this? Figuring out, just shut my mind off and just do the thing. So as far as movement choice, it's probably going to be pretty much the same. I would like to do some like overhead shoulder stuff, but I'm not overhead tricep extension stuff. To work that long head when it's like elongated, but I just don't know how that's going to feel on my shoulder. Um, Not who I thought it was. But yeah, I'll probably start off with some heavy push downs. I do like those. Um, like, admittedly, I feel like such a tool saying this, but like the ego part of it is nice. Um, and it's just fun in the sense of, because I don't get to do a lot of like deadlifting or flat benching or like squatting, because I'm not doing a lot of like lifting for strength. So it is nice to simply just almost for an enjoyability factor to have a movement in there that's just kind of, hey, let's just kind of feel strong. Is that super optimal and necessary? No, but I think there's a valid aspect to enjoying your training sessions. Uh, Probably do like 2 or 3 sets of that, just depending on how it's feeling. Um, and then probably just fuck around with the Vulcan cable attachment and just do a bunch of little variations of whatever it's called, tricep extensions. And I might play around with some like intensifiers, like if I have some acquaintances there that can run me through some like forced reps or drop sets or whatever. I'll probably I've been enjoying training arms with a bit of like a lower tempo, like the first half of my volume being God, shit, like the lower tempo, slow and controlled, and then the second half of the volume just kind of more forcing a pump. Ideally, yes, still training to failure. It's just a different rep range. So in the end, like whether you're like, when I say pump type training, I'm more so referring to higher volume. So any rep range that's like over 8 to 10, like above that. Now, obviously, I'm not just training just for the pump. The intent is still the same, you know, mechanical tension, train intensely, train your failure, whatever. But that's just what I refer to it, just to like signify or whatever the fuck the word is, what I'm referring to and what I'm talking about. I have a fucking eyelash in my eye. Feel it. All right. I'm gonna turn this off, get this out of here, and then get inside and start working out. What's really good? I'm curious to see what it looks like if I can. It's the song where the wolf tears his clothes off. That's a Christian rock band. It is? Dude, yeah. So is Linkin Park, apparently. They're not a Christian rock. Yeah, they are. Listen to what their songs are about. They are. I don't make me very no. That's all you got it? You got it? Let's get 5 more. Yep. A little more. 4. 2 more. Three more. Three more. Oh, thank you. Ow. Quick chit chat. The set prior, I'm fine. Like right on the last one, my bicep like cramped, and it cramped in like a funky way. So it like scared the shit out of me for a second. I was like, oh shit, did I just like tear my bicep tendon? So that was why I like let go. And I was like I'm feeling it cramp, so it feels off, but I like don't want to look at it because if you guys know what a bicep looks like when it tears, it's kind of gross. So I'm just like, I'm also kind of like bummed out. So very glad to report that it was just a simple cramp. But yeah, about most of the way through biceps. I'm kind of fucking with this machine today. I might honestly just do the whole bicep workout over here. So I don't know. Might go. I don't know. I kind of want to like do some like preacher curls, a little easy bar like we've been doing, but honestly, I'm enjoying this. So I think I've done 6 or 7 sets. Yeah, I think I'll probably just finish off with this. And then I don't know, I might go do some hammer curls. Ow. Need some electrolytes in me. Yeah, I don't know. I might do some hammer curls. I don't know. Might just finish off here. Whoa. That felt weird doing it one side at a time. First side felt really nice. Second side felt weird. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so went and pooped after. I want to say I did like another set of that seated bicep machine that I didn't record. Maybe I'm wrong. I just I feel like I didn't. I don't remember exactly why. I might have been talking to Anna prior. But, and then I had to go poop. So I pooped. And then I ended up I tried doing like another set of, I went over and grabbed some dumbbells. Uh, Started doing some of those. Um, for, God, I'm blanking on the word. I'm messing with the AC, trying to get my windshield to not fog up. But yeah, I went and did like a set or so of the dumbbells. And I think by that point I was 8+ sets of biceps in. Um, and what's the word? Between already doing a lot and then going and pooping, so having some like downtime on the muscle, it was just pretty dead. And I would like to think that it was a pretty productive day. I don't know. I'm like kind of like gaslighting myself mentally about it because I don't feel like numbers wise, like as I'm sitting here like running it back in my head, I don't feel like I did a lot, but all the sets, ugh, all the sets felt productive. All the sets felt intense. So in the end, I'm happy with the lift as a whole, and yeah, I don't really have too much to say in that regard. Um, Trying to think if there's anything worthwhile speaking about. Let me think if there's any useful stuff. Oh, you know what? I'll talk about this. Okay, so because I get some DMs, and first I want to preface: I don't mind when people DM me. I don't, especially because I'm not that big of a creator. I have a decent amount of following on TikTok, a lot more than on YouTube, but nevertheless, I'm never going to be upset that people DM me. It's cool. It's a cool experience. There have been times that people DM me stuff, and I've even had like personal people people that I know personally, like on my Snapchat, ask me questions that objectively are dumb questions, and I'll explain why. Maybe not dumb, but they're very, very basic. And I say dumb because it's not a dumb question, but it's dumb to ask because it's so easily attainable to answer that information. To the point of it'll be a question like one quick ass Google search, and you could have found this out. And that's one of the advantages that I think people might take for granted, or not really realize, is at their fingertips today, relative to the bodybuilders that a lot of us look up to as far as inspiration goes. Like I remember, I think it was a Jay Cutler interview, and he was talking about how during his time they didn't have all the available information on the internet, and not just, I mean, nowadays not only do you have such better and more research and scientific data, because this whole field of the nutrition and the training aspect in terms of from a research perspective is relatively new, but it's also way more easily accessible thanks to the internet and social media. But yeah, Jay was talking about how during his time, you know for him, like everything that he learned, he would go to like his local like gym focused store, like not a GNC, but one of the more local ones. It's like, has all your supplements and stuff like that. And you would pick up one of the bodybuilding magazines and you would read through the articles and see what, the big name guys at the time were saying. And that's where you got your information and learned how to do stuff. And that's where he was like, because I think he was talking about how he used to eat like boxes of cereal because he understood, like at the bare minimum, that carbs are very important. And he learned this from reading a fucking magazine article. Nowadays, you don't even have to get off your couch to learn this information. Because the internet obviously makes it so prevalent. And then social media especially makes it so out there. Like I've had plenty of people, and even people that I personally know, that have like slid up on my my personal Snapchat story, and just like people I used to go to school with, and be like, hey, how do I get big, or how can I put weight on, or like whatever. And the thing is, That is such a, I get it's very complicated and it can get very nuanced, but in terms of just at least the basics and getting a general understanding to get you started, you could literally spend 10 minutes on TikTok. Look up how to bulk or bulking tips. And more than likely, the top few posts are going to be from like some pretty, valid um, accounts and whatnot. And I know people like to give a hard time to guys like JPG and all those that aspect of the fitness industry and whatnot. But especially if you're just a basic starting out lifter, that is more than enough to get you like valid stuff. Like like I would assume guys like Ride guys like JPG, and even just other types of creators, if you just look up how to bulk just on TikTok, you'll probably find a few decent videos just basically explaining the basics of, hey, look up a calorie calculator to figure out a general idea of how many calories you need. Start out with that, and then split up your proteins, your fats, and your carbs, and they'll explain that to a basic level, and then give you some basic food choices. And obviously, it can get so much more nuanced and so much more particular and individualized than that. But as far as, a starting lifter, you could get a fuck ton of information relatively just spending 10, 20 minutes on YouTube or TikTok. I mean, gosh, I started going to the gym when I was 14. That's when I was going to the gym. But I didn't really know what I was doing until about probably 2 years ago at most. Like, I didn't ever track food until 2 years ago. It was the first time, I think 2 years ago. A little under 2 years. It was the first time I ever actually started tracking food and starting to understand. And then in that time period, I also learned how to like train properly and train intensely. And so there's like a few year time period where I was interacting with the gym, but didn't know shit about what I was doing in terms of the basics. And not that it wasn't available for me then, it probably was, I just wasn't aware. But nowadays, if you're literally brand new to the gym, spend 10, 15, 20 minutes, spend an evening on YouTube, on TikTok, and just get the basics. If you see videos talking about super specific stuff and like nutrient timing and specific like scientific ways to target an individual muscle or whatever, like try not to go down that rabbit hole. Not yet, at least. Just focus on the basics. Understand, calories, understand protein and its importance. Have a general understanding of why you would want fats or why you would want carbs. And then have a very general understanding of like where you can get those from food choice wise, or at least how to track. I mean, seriously, like I could spend 5-10 minutes just giving some pointers and tips to a brand new lifter, and they would just like that be in a much better starting position than I ever was when I started lifting. So just keep that in mind. The internet can be your friend. Use it wisely. There's a lot of potential information at your fingertips. And it's not that hard to take advantage of and use, sift through. So